All right, let's go. I'd rather eat raw chicken off a toilet seat at a dive bar in Mexico than wake up on a Thursday to a down crypto market.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
It's always a little painful when the first thing you see is red all over your crypto portfolio, but when it happens, there are really only two options. You can sit around crying like a little bitch, or you can pick yourself up and continue to put in the hard work.
So anyway, I usually just put some pieces of tape down there, you know, so people can't see my junk when I'm giving interviews and shit, because you don't want to be talking to Michelle and bam, all of a sudden Big Mike comes out swinging, you know what I'm saying?
Most of us by now are used to the unforeseen crashes. Crazy when both ankles go out on back-to-back steps. We've been slapped down many times before, but we always find a way to fire back. By now you all know the pain of getting so close, yet missing so badly. But you gotta remember that things could always be worse. So if you need a snack, go get it now. And if anything offends you in this video, it's obviously because
you can't handle the truth.
On days like this, the best thing you can do is put on some feel-good music and listen to the advice of those who have more experience.
What is your advice to the younger generation?
I would say, stop being a bunch of pussies.
So we're going to talk some crypto. Of course, we'll stay up to date with all the latest breaking news. But in all seriousness, I don't think people are fully aware of the damage being done by the new Trump tax cuts.
It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of. I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents. My kids have not ate in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids. Yo, I just seen a video and that's exactly what the fucking lady was saying, bro. I'm fucking dead. Bitch, it's called get a job, ho!
Many people gathered in Vegas this week for Bitcoin 2025, but one guest stood out like no one else. The skull of Satoshi, donated by Ripple to the Bitcoin community. The skull will now have a permanent home at the Bitcoin Museum in Nashville. And from the legend, Stu Alderati, Ripple submitted an additional letter to the SEC's Crypto Task Force addressing a key question from Commissioner Peirce's New Paradigm speech. When does a digital asset separate from an investment contract? Adding, we appreciate the continued engagement with the task force. Vivo Power International, which is a NASDAQ-listed energy firm, raised $121 million to launch an XRP-focused digital asset treasury strategy. The company sold 20 million shares at $6.05 each, aiming to be the first public firm with an XRP treasury. Other big news right here, Ripple's Hidden Road launches OTC crypto swaps in the US, opening institutional access to cash-settled trades across major digital assets. And with all the positive momentum for stablecoin adoption, this is very timely as well. We're proud to partner with Ripple to bring RLUSD to BitGet. RLUSD, a fully regulated USD-backed stablecoin issued on XRPL and Ethereum. And we'll take a closer look at some price predictions in just a minute, but first, let's take a look at some other top headlines.
What the Biden administration was doing, and let's face it, it wasn't Biden. Elizabeth Warren controlled the auto pen during that administration. She, for some reason, has this pathological hatred of the crypto community. She wants to drive this community offshore. She doesn't want it happening in the United States. That's the wrong policy for the United States. We want all the innovation happening here. This is a financial system of the future. It's cheaper. It's more efficient. We want it happening here, Jesse, and I think people are thrilled that President Trump is making that possible.
There is no doubt that Pocahontas is a worthless bitch, but we also know she didn't act alone.
I'm only here to do two things: delay any progress in crypto and eat Elizabeth Warren's very tasty sweet bunghole. Her booty tastes like 70-year-old cottage cheese, and boy, oh boy, do I love cottage cheese.
Maybe the most important thing that we did for this community, we reject regulators and we fired Gary Gensler, and we're going to fire everybody like him.
Actually, I never wanted this bullshit job.
This guy is the reason I moved to the Republican Party.
So what can a governor do to help lead the way to that vision where every kid is able to participate in the magic of American capitalism and compounding to not be spiteful towards the successful by being successful instead. One of the things I will do is I will lead Ohio to be the first and top state in the country to integrate financial literacy into our public education that includes the power of compounding, including education about Bitcoin as an asset class that every young person ought to be aware of as they make those financial decisions.
The Democrat Party right now, in its current form, is shattered into pieces. They have no leader, they have no message, they have no unity. And one of President Trump's longest lasting legacies will be how he has destroyed the Democrat Party and taken away the core constituencies of young people, of working class voters, and of blacks and Hispanics. The Democrats, they're trying to reach young men. The only men that are gravitating towards the Democrat Party are men who want to become women.
Obviously, Charlie is not aware of the new secret weapon for the Democrats. Fitness expert Olivia Juliana.
I spent a lot of time on college campuses, and I spent a lot of time with young men. I love young men. I love frat guys.
I mean, what did you expect from the same people who thought that the spirit fingers of Tim Walz and the absurdity of J.B. Pritzker holding a falcon would also bring young men back to the party? And speaking of Tim, Tesla is now up 61% since Walz publicly celebrated the stock's decline. But at least we can rest easy knowing that Minnesota men's rooms are fully stocked with tampons. After multiple blocking attempts, the U.S. Appeals Court reinstates President Trump's tariffs.
Good.
Governor Ron DeSantis signs a bill making gold and silver legal tender in Florida.
Elon Musk is not a scientist. He is not an engineer.
Maybe we need to call her Alexandria Often Confused, because not only is Elon Musk the chief engineer of Tesla, he's also literally a rocket scientist.
If she ever had a clever thought, it died alone and frayed.
California is handing out thousands of tickets to residents who park within 20 feet of a crosswalk, even if they've parked against a white curb. Because clearly the worst state in the country doesn't have bigger issues to tackle. Rumors are circling of a fourth Austin Powers movie, but you'll never guess who they are looking at to play Fat Bastard. President Trump meets with Fed Chair Jerome Powell at the White House. However, with the next FOMC scheduled for June 18th, Polymarket still has a 96% chance that there is no interest rate reduction. A new art installation is unveiled that accurately combines the volatility of the crypto market with the difficulty of completing a 12-step program. David Hogg, who was the DNC vice chair for about 12 minutes, admits in undercover footage that Jill Biden's chief of staff was actually operating the Biden White House.
I mean, I think the fact of the matter is the DNC is always going to be like a campaign arm of the president, ultimately. The bigger issue was like the inner circle that was around Biden. That's it.
And I can't stress to you enough.
Like Jill Biden's chief of staff, like had an enormous amount of power.
Joe Biden?
Jill Biden's chief of staff.
That was like an open secret at that point. Like, I would avoid him. Like, he was scary.
What was his name?
Anthony Trump.
And with Bonnie Blue getting thrown out of a soccer game for blowing guys in the crowd, I think it's fair to ask why the same thing doesn't happen to Reggie Miller for sucking off all the Pacers. All right, let's take a quick look at the price charts for both XRP and Bitcoin. We'll start off with a look at XRP on the 2-week scale, as there are less false signals on a higher time frame. There is a bit of a warning sign here. If the stochastic RSI stays below this 20 level, which is the red line, that's a bad sign that will probably lead to more bearish momentum. However, we also see that there is a hidden bullish divergence when comparing RSI and SRSI with the XRP price. Two areas to pay attention to would be this pink box, which is made up of the fib retracement levels of what should be the worst case scenario if the next bear market started today, and this green box, which is signaled as the next take profit zone based on fib extension levels of previous bull runs. The pink box sits between 49 cents and 74 cents, and the green box is up here between $4.50 and $7.43. If we move over here and take a look at Bitcoin, there is still a lot of bullish momentum with the SRSI still above the 80 level and the MACD still in green. There is a slight bearish divergence comparing price with RSI, but if we can stay above this 68 0.24 level on the RSI, you should expect another leg up. We also have the measured target move from the breakout of this descending broadening wedge pattern, which is around the $122,000 level. You should also keep in mind that there is a CME gap at $91,970, which doesn't have to play out during this bull cycle, but did fill the last time this happened last month. So you know I'll be watching, and I'll keep you updated with any new information. In this crazy world we are living in, the best thing we can do is try to make sense of it together. Sometimes laughter is the best medicine. Like, have you heard the one where a drunk, a used car salesman, and James Brown walk into a bar? I always do my best to provide you all with a fair warning. The battle wounds will come and go, but if you invite Stacey Abrams to a barbecue, this will always be the result. And if you have a couple more minutes, you may also like this video right here, the timeline for XRP to hit $27, maybe sooner than you think. Until the next time, let's go Knicks.